Okay. Okay. Can you see the slides, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So as I said, guys, this was the the video. It's actually a book, Joel Bacan. I read the book. It's very interesting. It's subtitled "The Pathological Pursuit of Profit and Power." Joel Bacan is a lawyer, and he looked at how companies have willfully and really deliberately destroyed the environment just to seek profit and power. It's very interesting because we consider in by law companies are considered as beings or juridical, they're juridical beings, so they can be sued. They can act as an individual, a person. So there have been many instances in the past when companies have acted in such a way that destroyed the environment and destroyed communities, all for the sake of profit and power. So this is a very interesting book, and it has a video produced by Michael Moore, one of the most critical I have met on how companies are being operated. Okay, so last time we also mentioned about the triple bottom line, and we said that these are this is very important kasi sabi natin ang may debate kasi there's a debate. Some would say that what's important is shareholder value maximization. But others say that if we just focus on the shareholders, then it's too myopic a look at the company. Some would debate that a corporation does not only affect shareholders. Yes, of course, shareholders put in a great amount investment, and they should be recompensed. They should be compensated for that. However, because a company is being a juridical entity, they also affect not only shareholders but other parties. And we looked at this last time. We said that there are several stakeholders that should be considered. The big problem with that, guys, is that uh, a company may not be able to really address all the needs of the stakeholders. So it's believed that the first and primary objective should be shareholder value maximization. Of course, it should not detract from from a company or a firm to look at the other stakeholders as well. So there's a raging debate about this. Hindi pa tapos yung debate na yan. Maraming journal articles, and you'll be assigned to read one. And again, optional, guys, kung magre-react kayo dun sa article na yan. But it's a good reading for us business students to be aware that there are issues like this. And maybe, guys, some of you would become entrepreneurs someday. You'll be setting up your own business. I do hope that you'll also look at uh, these as objectives. But definitely, guys, clear tayo na it should not only be profit maximization, because from a financial perspective, may flaws dun sa profit maximization na context. We're going to look at this later on. I'm not sure, guys, if I showed this to you last time, yung reputation matters, and reputation can be measured. Have I shown this to you, guys? Can you see the screen? And have I shown this to you? Hello? Napakita ko na. Alright, sige. So we were mentioning last time that nowadays, marami ng measures na ginagamit in order to assess the performance of a firm. Meron na tayong tinatawag na reputation intelligence. So I hope you take a look at this site, guys. And let me just read some of the write-ups here. Companies must express their purpose through strategies and communications that add value to their brands. A brand is important, guys. Later on, I'm going to show you a site which tells us about the value of brands. More than just add value, equivalency, or brand awareness, reputation intelligence uh, enables communication leaders to measure the effectiveness of programs over time and develop strategies around business outcomes. Okay, so There are some details here which I'll just leave you to look into, guys. So there's this RepTrack platform, okay, Reputation Insights. Okay, I'll leave, guys. You have the URL. Okay, you have the link, and then I would that you become interested in these things in companies like this that rate the reputation of companies as far as this is what we say was ESG. Remember, guys, I mentioned this last time: environmental impact, social performance, and governance standard. So ESG. These are what we call ESG measures. And companies are not only now assessed with respect to their financial performance, but also with respect to these other factors, which are part and parcel of what we call the triple bottom line, the three E's or the three P's. Others would denote it as their ESG performance: environmental, social, and governance standard. And there are factors uh, under this. So there are questions that are found under E, under S, and under G. And I would like to encourage you to look into this. Okay. Then we have several, let's say, several surveys now about which companies are top CSR. Are you familiar with what CSR means?
Sir,
Yes.
corporate social
Yes,
responsibility.
that's correct. That's corporate social responsibility. And this is also related to the ESG performance measures, corporate social responsibility. So that now there is a great clamor for communities, for customers, for people to make sure that companies do not just destroy the environment. They do not just do things at will without them being held accountable. The movie, the corporation, tells us that before, companies would just destroy the environment, pollute rivers, and people would just accept that as is. But nowadays, that's not possible. There are very strict environmental laws now. And because of advocacies of many communities, of people themselves, companies are no longer able to do things that they were able to do before. It's like destroy the environment. Okay. Then there's also this one, the world's most reputable companies for CSR. Again, I'll just leave this for your perusal. One of the most popular, guys, companies as far as CSR is concerned. Also CSR, some call it CSP. CSR, CSP, corporate social performance, corporate financial performance. It's Lego. Again, guys, I'm sorry I will not we don't have time really to look into this, but you have this reference. I would that you look at this. They're just short videos, and you'll see how Lego, as a Danish company, has been able to influence people, the young ones, the school children, so that they become more aware of their role in nation building. Okay lang, Julian. Mamaya na attendance. Huh? Okay, so in terms of nation building, etc. Okay, I'd like to point out to you, have you heard, guys, of Interbrand? Okay, this is 2018. There's now 2020, but let me just flash this. Are you familiar with Interbrand? Okay, sige, mamaya na lang yung magpapa-attendance. Ha? Are you familiar with Interbrand, guys? Yes or no lang, please?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So Interbrand, 2018 pa to, may 2020 na. Okay, this is a very good, oops, wala na pala. Wala na yung 2018. Okay, sandali ha. Let me see. Interbrand. Google natin. Interbrand, 2019 muna hanapin natin. Okay. Interbrand, best global brands. Okay. So this is for, let me see. Okay. Can you see the screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, these are the top 100 companies in terms of the value of their brand. Okay? What does that mean, guys? Kunyari, ang number one dyan lagi, consistent yan si Apple. Okay, this one, 322 or 323, this is in million, so this is billion. 300, oh no, three, yeah, million, yes, 322 to 323 billion, guys. The 38% here means that comparing it with 2018, the brand value of Apple increased by 38%. Now, what does this measure? What does this value measure? This, guys, does not even measure the assets of the firm. It's just the brand. So Interbrand came up with certain formulas, certain valuation techniques, and they valued the brand Apple. In other words, guys, if you're going to buy Apple, just the brand itself, not necessarily the assets, you have to cough up $322 billion just to buy Apple, just the brand, guys. Number two is Amazon with around 201 billion. So these are the top 10, top 100 companies in terms of the brands. So in 2019, Coca-Cola went down for a while. For a time, it was always Coca-Cola that was the number one until Apple and the other tech companies uh, overtook Coca-Cola. So if you notice, guys, these are very popular brands. And once again, guys, the value there, yung kunyari si Disney, yung $40 billion. It's just the value, the name itself, the logo itself, oh, yung brand lang niya. Hindi kasama doon yung value ng resources ni Disney, yung intellectual property rights ni Disney, yung mga films niya, yung mga Mickey Mouse, yung mga Snow White, lahat yan, guys. Iba yung value niyan. If you take a look at the balance sheet of Disney, ang laki ng assets nila dyan sa mga films na yan. Okay? So si Facebook, 35 billion dollars, no? And ano dito, guys? LV, familiar na mga guys, no? Are you familiar with LV?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Louis
sir.
Vuitton, no? I had an opportunity to go to Paris, no, sa France. Tapos may doon, may isang place na yung building ng Louis Vuitton. It was in the shape of a bag, yung LV bag nila. Ang ganda, very creative yung pagkagawa ng building. Siguro, guys, wala masyado ditong brand sa top 10, ano? Or even sa top 20 na hindi kayo familiar. Of course, Instagram. Just the brand itself, 26 billion. SAP, are you familiar with SAP? Yes or no, guys? Familiar
No,
ba kayo
sir.
sa
No,
SAP?
sir.
Okay, SAP is
No.
a software. No? It's used in data analytics. Ginagamit yan ng mga malalaking companies para sa kanilang statistical processing. So among the statistical software, si SAP ang wala yung iba, no? Wala yung like SPSS, ano pa ba, SAS, wala. Si SAP really uh, outpaces them all. So again, if you take a look at the others, UPS, American Express, JP Morgan is a financial institution, Chanel, nasa apparel din siya, at saka sa mga scent, no? Okay? IKEA, alam niyo IKEA, guys, of course you know this brand, no? Swedish brand, worth 18.9 billion yung brand niya. And soon to open the biggest IKEA dyan sa may MOA, no? I think this year na yata bubuksan niya or next year, I'm not so sure. Okay, ano dito, guys, hindi niyo alam? Hermes, alam ko, alam niyo to, no? Apparel din yan, luxury apparel, and also scents, no? Okay, Accenture is a consultancy company. Gucci, alam niyo, Budweiser, Pampers. Of course, siguro lahat kayo dumaan dyan sa Pampers, no? Zara, of course, you know this, mga brands nito, ano, mga clothing, apparel, pati si H&M. Okay. So these companies have established quite a reputation for themselves, so that Interbrand, which is a reputable company that gives value to brands, has computed the value, as I said, just the value of the brand. Netflix, bagong-bago lang, pero almost 13 billion eh, ano, no? Tinalo pa yung mga ibang mga brick and mortar companies. Si eBay is on the number 46. Okay. All right. So just going through this, Goldman Sachs is a financial institution. Adidas, you know, Citi, also financial institution. Si Philips, electronics and also sa lighting. Gillette, si Porsche and Zijan. Starbucks is number 56. Okay. Who would have imagined a coffee shop just being number 56 in the world in terms of brand? Okay, and the others, guys, are pretty popular, I'm sure, sa atin. Spotify, alam niyo yan. Cartier. Santander is a Spanish bank. Nintendo. Who among you do not know Nintendo? Of course, I know you know this. No? Ferrari, of course. Huawei. Ang layo ni Huawei kay Apple, ano? Si Apple number 1, si Huawei number 80 lang. Alright? So, ito guys, yung mga top 100. Zoom, guys. Johnny come lately, pero 4.5 billion na yung worth ng value na Zoom. Okay? Burberry, Prada, okay? So, ang question kasi dito guys, okay, over and above the values here, sa kaya nanggagaling yung yung bakit kaya napakataas ng brand name nila? Okay? Bakit kaya? Can you provide some answers, guys? Ano kaya yung guess nyo? Why is it that Apple, imagine 322, no? 323 billion just just the name itself. So mukhang hindi natin kayang bilhin, no? Dollars. 323 billion dollars. Wow. Kahit nga yung number 100 eh, diba? Uber is here, no? Uber around 5 billion. Si Zoom 4.5 billion. Okay. What do you think gives this company such a reputation? Kasi kung pangit yung reputation nito, guys, yung brand name nito, hindi siya papasok dito. Lego is number 72. Kellogg's, mga cereals, mga PayPal, Salesforce also. Okay, lahat ng mga companies na to are quite familiar to me. And I'm sure siguro a big chunk of these companies are very familiar to you. No? Kahit na medyo bata pa kayo, pero I'm sure narinig nyo na iba dito. No? Maybe you have not used them. I don't know if you have used Gillette, but your father most probably have used Gillette. Unless, of course, you shave also. Siguro nakagamit na rin kayo ng Gillette.
So, sir, can I try po?
Yes, sige. Sure, go ahead.
Sir, I think that to some extent the quality of their service and products are really high.
Yes.
And are at some point reliable at any time. That's why they're able to they're able to have brand loyalty na po.
Thank you. Who's this? Sorry, identify niyo muna yung pangalan niyo, ha? Marco, thank you. Yes, sabi ni Marco, yung reliability ng products nila, reliability ng products nila, no? Yeah, that's very true. Yung products nila, we know that when we buy from them, we can be assured that their products are of high quality. Hindi tayo masisira sa mga products nila. Canon for one, no? Either yung mga printers or yung mga cameras, no? Mga digital equipment nila. Okay, Danone is a French food company. So famous yan for meats, dairy products. Ang sarap kaya ng yogurt nila. But Marco is right, no? These companies were not considered as high brand values because they were definitely not because their products were sloppy or their services were not good. Siyempre, prime and very, very good yung mga products itong mga to. Who would not love Disney products, di ba? I'm sure all of us grew with this company. Mga bata pa tayo, even up to now, they still churn very beautiful movies. Kahit na hindi yung animation, kahit may mga Disney na rin kasi na hindi animation eh. But we grew up with Disney. Who among you do not know Mickey Mouse or Goofy, no? Or yung mga yung mga characters ngayon sa yung mga animation ngayon sa Disney. I'm sure 100% of us know their products. And, of course, McDonald's. Wala nga lang dito si Jollibee kasi yung presence niya hindi pa as pervasive as McDonald's. Pero talo si McDonald's dito. One of the only few countries where McDonald's could not overtake or beat Jollibee. Nagkamali kasi sila sa strategy. Kasi akala nila na mag-a-adjust ang Pinoy sa medyo blunt taste ng McDonald's. They were wrong. Iba yung panlasa ng Pinoy. Kaya talo sila dito, no? Si KFC, etc. Okay, any other answer aside from Marco? Thank you so much. Any other answer? And we're spending some time looking at this because ang question, does this have something to do with maximizing shareholder value or stakeholder value? That's a very important question. But if you survey them, a big chunk of the CEOs of this company, CEOs and CFOs, would agree that it's not profit maximization, guys. That should be the main objective of an organization. But rather, it's stakeholder value maximization or shareholder value maximization. Mas broad yung stakeholder value maximization. Okay? Any questions about this, guys? I hope you were enlightened about this. I suggest that you look at this, guys, kasi meron ng 2020. Kaso nga lang, pag 2020 yata you need to register para makakuha mo yung list. Binago yata nila. I was trying it yesterday. I had to register first. So sabi ko, ang gagamitin ko na lang tong 2019. Okay. Any questions about this, guys? Okay, thank you. Now, I suggest that you look at this tapos basahin nyo, guys, kung paano nila binavalue to. It's interesting. As business students, it's good for us to be aware that there's this company called Interbrand, that they value the brand names of companies, and it will be interesting how in the world do they compute for this. Okay, so we leave that discussion, and brand names, as I mentioned here, these are brand names that matter. Okay. All right, so let's first let's go now to our discussion on what really is finance or financial management. When we talk of finance, there are many definitions of finance, but we will limit ourselves to the most popular ones. Okay, so we know that companies do not have infinite resources. Kahit na si Apple, guys, okay, the one which has the highest brand value, hindi infinite yung resources niyan. So Apple has a finance department, and because of this limit as far as finance resources is concerned, kailangan alam nila kung paano gamitin yung mga resources, where to invest their dollars, where to put their money on, and this is called your resource allocation. Okay? So your resource allocation, kasama dyan yung managing the resource, acquiring resources, okay, and managing yung mga assets na na-acquire nila. So in a nutshell, finance actually deals with money, matters related to money. Kasi guys, pag ang pinaka number one resource ng company is money, no? Sabi nga nila, without the round, a company cannot go around. Kung walang funds, kung walang pera, paano sila makakapag-expand ng kanilang operations? Paano sila, for example, mag-set up ng branches sa Southeast Asia? Diba? Ngayon, maraming mga companies dun sa top 100 na yan, they have positioned themselves in Southeast Asia, no? Particularly in Vietnam, in Thailand, in Indonesia. Unfortunately, medyo nahuhuli na naman tayo. We're again missing the boat. Okay, Vietnam is really a surprise star as far as investment is concerned. Kasi cheaper yung labor sa kanila, tapos very good yung political climate. Okay, sa atin medyo questionable. Okay, so finance is simply, it's the art and science of managing money. So let me just read to you what Gitman says. It is concerned with the processes, the institutions, the markets, and the instruments involved in the transfer of money among individuals, businesses, and governments. Now, this is a very important definition. Kasi may mga players, may mga units or individuals or businesses who have excess funds. Meron naman mga units na kailangan nila ng funds. So that's why there is a market, no? Market for transfer of resources or funds or cash. Kasi meron mga, as I mentioned a while ago, meron mga sobrang funds nila, ano gagawin nila doon? And we know that a well-meaning individual or business will not just put the money in the bank. I-invest niya yan. So either papautangin niya yan, okay, or i-invest niya yan as a shareholder sa isang business. Okay? So there will be transfer of money. May mga companies na kailangan ng pera, hihiram sila in the form of debt, or they will invite others to invest in them as shareholders. So finance is all about that. It's managing the movement of money across individuals, across businesses, and even across governments. So ang Pilipinas, umuutang yan, no? Pwedeng umuutang yan through soft loans projects katulad sa China, sa Japan, sa USA. So we incur debts kasi ang governments kailangan din ng pera. Okay, ngayon, we have what we call the golden age of infrastructure. Just look around, guys. Grabe sa Manila Bay na lang eh. Initially, ang daming nag-a-against. Oh, personally, I'm really for it. No? Sabi nila yung Dolomite Sand daw, it's a waste. Ang tagal-tagal na kaya pinabayaan yung Manila Bay. I'm glad that it's only in this administration that you might not be in favor of Duterte, but I think personally I give it to him. Yung mga infrastructures ngayon, grabe. I'm looking forward yung Manila Bay pag maayos yan. Ako, we'll be going back to the glory days and even better. Kasi yung mga kaibigan ko na mga matatanda na, sabi nila before, they could swim dun sa without having to worry about having itchy skin or having skin disease. Dati daw ang linis-linis yan, ang ganda-ganda daw. Eh napabayaan na imagine mga companies sige lang na inaang nila yung dumi dun sa, can you imagine that? No? I've been to other countries, guys, no? And I'm naiiyak ako kasi pag nakikita ko nyari, example lang guys I've been to sa Geneva, sa Geneva. Yung lake nila, guys, yung Lake Geneva. When I first went there, umiyak talaga ako kasi sabi ko, sana ganito yung Pilipinas, sana ang linis, guys. So clean yung tubig. Talagang they know how to really take good care of their environment. No? Sandali lang, guys, ha. Wait lang. I just mukhang may kumakatok lang. Sandali, ha. Sorry for false alarm. Okay? So, guys, pasensya na kung minsan medyo mag-aano ako ng experiences ko. I hope kayong mga bata, guys, you'll soon to be the leaders. Take that to heart, no? Talagang yung importante sa atin yung sustainability din ng bayan natin. It should not only be the company. Ako, I like biking, no? Sorry, again, kwento ha. I've biked from Manila to Baguio, Baguio to Sagada. I've biked in Mindanao, I've biked in Visayas. I always enjoy the province kasi ang ganda ng environment. Sa Manila, medyo di ba? Ang hirap dito eh. So sana dumating yung time na yung mga jeepneys na ng exhaust na ang iitim. I hope we can be just like the first world countries like sa Europe, sa Germany, sa France, na yung mga yung mga vehicles sila ang lilinis ng mga exhaust, no? Okay. Anyway, so back here to finance. So si Kion naman, these are authors ng finance, no? Si Gitman at saka si Kion. Sabi niya, ang finance daw, it's concerned with the maintenance and creation of economic value or wealth. So bumabalik tayo dito sa ng wealth, ano? So how does the company maintain wealth? So wealth management yon. And not only maintain, but also create. Hindi pa pwede kasi i-maintain lang. Kailangan mag-create ng panibagong economic value or wealth for the company. Otherwise, kung maintenance lang, stagnation na yon. So wala nang growth doon. So that's very important, guys. Maintenance and creation of economic value or wealth. Pause muna ako, guys. Clear so far? Clear? Pakiyas nga kung...
Yes, po.
Okay, good.
Clear naman po.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. Guys, yung first 2 weeks, medyo discussion tayo ng concepts. Yung mga susunod, medyo mag-hands-on na tayo. And we're going to use Excel as our main platform of choice. All right. So continuing, guys, what's corporate finance? Others would think that finance is just an extension of accounting. Nothing can be further from the truth, guys. Accounting is different from finance. Accounting is more backward looking. Ang ginagawa ng accounting, as you know from your anong subject ngayon ng account nyo, ACBA 1 ba or ACBA 2, accounting has a main purpose of recording the transactions and summarizing it in order to generate reports, no? Financial reports in the form of income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flows, statement of changes in owner's equity. So yun yung pinaka-ano ng accounting. Ang finance, hindi, guys. Finance goes beyond accounting. I would dare say that where accounting ends, finance begins. Kasi si finance, ang pinag-uusapan niya, pagkakaperahan na. It's about creating value. It's about maintaining value or the wealth of the organization, wealth of the shareholders, and hopefully also wealth of the stakeholders. Others say that finance is just modeling or finance is just all about banking. Hindi, no? Hindi. In any business organization, lahat ng aspects yan, guys, kailangan yung pera. Marketing ba kailangan ng pera? What do you think? Pakichat nga dyan. Do you believe that marketing needs money? Yeah, thank you. I agree with you guys, 100%. Kahit anong functions ng organization ng management, whether it be marketing, kailangan ng pera yan. Kailangan ng management ng funds, ng cash. Operations, definitely. Kasi sa operations, kunyari manufacturing, sila yung nagko-convert ng raw materials into finished product. Of course, we know that without cash, without funds, without resources, hindi makaka-acquire ng resources needed in order to can you hear me?
Yes po, sir. Nawala ka po for a while.
Sorry,
Nawala ka
sorry.
po, sir.
Okay. Sorry. I was asking guys kung if si ano ba, si HR, yung human resource, aka talent management TM, do you think that the HR function needs coordination with finance in the sense that si finance kasi nagko-control ng pera, so kailangan ba magko-coordinate si HR kasi kailangan din niya ng pera? Paki-chat lang, guys. Yeah, of course, guys. Hindi pwedeng gumalaw si HR kung walang pera, guys. Kasi paano mag-acquire ng talents, no? Paano magte-train ng mga ng mga people nila? How do you empower people? One of the reasons why people stay in an organization, isa sa top yun, is because people see a career path for them. Nakikita nila, may growth ako dito. Kasi nakaset yung program ng company for people to grow. Unlike, kunyari, pumasok ka doon tapos hanggang clerk ka. Pag wala ka nakikitang growth, guys, hanggang clerk ka na kasi ang susunod, kunyari VP na, tapos no chance for you kasi may mga clerks dyan na kunyari 20 years na, hungry to be placed there in that position, lalong pag mga flat na position, no? Oh, how can you expect to grow? Walang career pathing. Function ng ng HR, ng TM, yung career pathing ng employees. So HR will need the service of finance, and so does accounting and also IT. So I hope I'm not belaboring the point na itong mga functions, kailangan nila ng ng HR. Okay? So again, guys, sabi natin, let's just formalize this. Finance actually is an offshoot of several fields. Finance actually came from both accounting and economics. Okay, so that's why they say that finance is also a branch of economics. Pero dati yun. Ngayon, because of the evolution of finance, naging separate field na siya. Separate na siya from economics. Although meron silang meron silang overlap. But finance has grown, evolved, and developed over the years to gain a moniker that it's a field in itself. So just like economics kasi it's all about resource allocation. Ganun din, guys, ang finance, no? It's all about matters related to money. So sabi ko nga kanina, parang naulit ko na lang to, sorry. Okay, so let's go here. So what is corporate finance? As I mentioned a while ago, guys, every decision that the business makes has financial implications. Kahit anong decision yan, may financial implications yan. Okay? Madalang na lang yung mga decision making na which might not have an impact on the financial position of the firm. Okay? Any decision, we can dare say that, may affect the finances of a business. Okay? So defined broadly, okay, let's take a look at this diagram. Okay. So tingnan niyo itong guys, itong diagram na to, this is corporate finance, ito yung umbrella niya. So kailangan yung support ng finance sa marketing. Ang marketing, guys, maybe they're not really that too keen on, for example, analysis ng pricing and product strategies. Dito sa activity na to, finance can greatly contribute. Okay? How about anong contribution ni finance sa accounting at saka information systems? It's helping generate information for making better financial decisions. Okay, ito yung mention ko kanina. Okay? Human capital, assessing and increasing the financial value of human capital. Or this is what we call, yung iba ang tawag sa HR, OB, organizational behavior. Kailangan din sa corporate finance, si corporate strategy. Okay, ano example ng corporate strategy? Kunyari sa Ayala Corp, mother company siya. Can you tell me, guys, ano yung mga companies that are subsidiaries or SBUs, strategic business units of Ayala? Anyone? Ano ba yung mga
Ayala Land.
Ayala Land. Tama. Ano pa? Any companies, guys, under the umbrella of Ayala Corporation? Si Ayala Corporation, ito yung mother company. Yes, sige.
Alveo.
Alveo, that's part of Ali, that's part of Ayala Land. Ano pa? Big companies, guys, that are primarily owned by Ayala.
Ayala Malls.
Sorry?
The malls po.
Yeah, oo. Part ng Ali yan, Ayala Land. No? Ayala Land kasi sa kanila yung mga Alveo, yung mga residences, and the maintenance of mga malls. That's part of Ali, Ayala Land. Ano pa?
Globe, sir.
Globe Telecoms. Okay? Ayala yan, no? Sino pa?
Sir,
Dami.
BPI.
BPI is also Ayala. Dati Pure Foods, Ayala yan, pero binenta na nila, no? Ano pa, guys? Dami. Dami companies. Honda in the Philippines, Ayala is part owner of that. Ano pa? Maynilad o Manila Water? Ayala
Manila
owned,
Water, sir.
Manila Water, Ayala owned din yan, no? So, Ayala is in several businesses. Ang tawag doon yung sa BPI, yung sa Globe, they're called SBU, no? Sulat ko kayo sa, sorry, hindi naka ano yung ano ko. SBU, guys, SBU. Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng SBU, guys? They're called Strategic Business Units. Okay, they're SBU, Strategic Business Units. A mother company, mother corporation, si Ayala Corp, and then part of their corporate strategy is to decide in what industry, in what business they're going to engage in. When Ayala first entered telecommunications through Globe, hindi basta-basta lang overnight nag-decide yan. Okay? Kailangan ng inputs ng finance yan. Okay? Finance, corporate finance was a major key player in deciding in which businesses to enter and in which businesses to exit. No? Kung saan sila papasok na negosyo at saka kung saan sila lalabas. Kasi remember, resource allocation yan. No? Kulang, hindi naman infinite yung resources na Ayala, so pipiliin nila. No? So they will come up with what we call capital budgeting. They'll determine if yung investment na to is okay, it will increase shareholder value, maximize shareholder value over the long run. And of course, guys, alam natin, no, na itong operations, alam natin na kailangan ng inputs ng corporate finance din. Kasi kung ano man decision, guys, ang gagawin ng production and operating, ang question doon, will it improve the profitability? Will it improve shareholder value? Kasi kung hindi, dapat hindi gagawin yun, no? So yun lang naman ang overarching principle ng corporate finance. Okay. So corporate finance is primarily concerned with maximizing shareholder value. So dapat parehong long-term and short-term financial planning and kailangan i-implement yung various strategies. Okay, so let me go here. Okay, sa finance, guys, may mga principles. So important yung mga first principles natin sa finance, itong tatlong to, no? So when you talk of corporate finance, we can classify them into coming up with decision making based on three principles. Number one, investment principle, capital financing principle, and dividends and return of capital. Okay, yung number one, guys, self-explanatory, capital investment. Okay, should we invest in this company? Or should we buy this company? Yung mga capital investment. And important corporate finance activity yan. Ano naman yung financing activity, guys? Paano yun? Paano yung financing activity? So may project tayo, paano natin ifa-finance yan? Manghihiram ba tayo sa mga creditors? Or mag-i-invite ba tayo ng new shareholders? Okay? Kasi remember, guys, what are the two types of investors in a company? Na we mentioned this last time. Ano yung two basic types of investors for a firm? Number one is
Shareholders.
shareholder. Number two is
Creditors.
creditors. Okay. Again, review ano yung motivation ng creditors. Why do creditors lend money?
Sir, interest.
Interest payments and yung dulo,
Principal, sir.
principal, okay? Principal payments, no? Makukuha ulit nila yung pinahiram nila. Kunyari, 100 million, nagpahiram kunyari si company A kay company B. So mag-a-agree sila, mayroon sila indenture kung tawagin, mag-a-agree sila, magko-contract sila that company B will pay company A a certain amount of interest, no? every month or every 3 months, etc. Depende dun sa agreement. So babayaran ni company B, si company A pa rin humihiram, ano? Babayaran ni company A si company B ng interest payments, and then at the end of the term, if it's 10 years, ibabalik niya yung principal. So that's the motivation of creditors. On the other hand, what's the motivation for shareholders, guys? What's the motivation for shareholders?
Dividends, sir.
Dividends and
And capital appreciation, sir.
capital appreciation. Mas importante sa shareholders yung capital appreciation. Okay? Kasi yung tumataas talaga yung shareholder value niyan. And third, guys, is dividends and return of capital. So, how much do we pay back dividends this year? Or do we hold muna yung sa cash para ma-flow back natin sa operations? So this is a very important corporate finance activity. So they're the ones that help or solely decide kung magdi-dividends ba o kung ibabalik ba yung capital. All of this, guys, all of this decision making coming from corporate finance, they're answered by this question: will shareholder value be increased or be maximized if we do this capital investment, or if we take on this capital financing, or if we engage in this dividend and return of capital? So yung tatlong principle na to is always guided by maximizing shareholder value. So that's the beauty of finance, guys. Napaka-specific ng objective. Okay? Clear-cut, laser-like yung objective. So kahit anong activity na gagawin ng business, guided sila ng ganung principle. Okay. So let's take a look at the first principle. We're going to look at this in greater detail. So ang investment principle, what's this all about? Okay, sabi natin, pag investment principle, saan ba tayo mag-invest? Saan natin ilalagak yung pera natin? Where are we going to put our resources? Should we enter this industry? Okay, so there are questions that they need to ask, but the answer should always be the return coming from that investment should be greater than the minimum acceptable hurdle rate. Okay, I'll discuss this in greater detail as we go on. No? Ano ba yung minimum acceptable hurdle rate? There's a name for that. Ilagay ko lang dito. It's called your WACC. Okay, anybody who can say what WACC is? Or the minimum acceptable hurdle rate? Anyone? Have you heard of the term WACC, acronym WACC? That is your? You can unmute yourself.
Sir, is it weighted average capital cost?
Yes, weighted average cost of capital. Correct, no? You're correct. That's the weighted average cost of capital. In a nutshell, ano ba ibig sabihin nun? In principle, guys, yung company humihiram, di ba? In principle, meron din siya mga investors in the form of shareholders. Ngayon, hindi free yan yung those funds are not free. Binabayaran niya yung share, yung mga creditors. Kailangan din niya mapakita, bayaran in the form of dividends or return of capital yung shareholders. So hindi free yung binibigay na capital sa kanila. Okay? So may cost yan. It has a cost to the company. So the average cost of acquiring these funds from creditors and from shareholders, kinocompute yan, ang tawag sa kanya, weighted average cost of capital. Clear ba? Guys? Clear?
Clear po.
Ulitin ko Okay. Free ba guys yung paghihiram sa mga banks, sa mga financial institutions?
Hindi po, sir.
Hindi. Free ba guys yung pag-i-invest sa mga shareholders?
Hindi rin po.
Hindi rin free yan. No? Kasi nagbabayad yung company ng dividends. Depende rin kung regularly o hindi. Di ba? Hindi free yung mga yan, guys. So, may cost sa company yan. Ang tawag natin, pag in-average out natin yan, ang tawag dyan, weighted average cost of capital. So, ang sinasabi dito, if ever the company is going to engage in an investment, dapat yung return ng investment na yun, dapat mas malaki kaysa sa WACC natin. So, is the concept clear, guys? But, napakasimple niya, no? So, dapat alamin natin kung magkano yung WACC. Ang tanong, itong project ba to, ang return ba niya mas malaki sa WACC? Kunyari ang WACC 10%. Then kinompute nila yung project na to, it has a average return of 8%. Should they push through with the project, guys? Should the project be pursued? Ulitin ko WACC is 10%. Return of the project is 8%. Should the project be pursued?
No po, sir.
No.
Hindi po, sir.
Why not?
No,
Guys?
sir.
Bakit kaya hindi?
Because hindi siya umabot sa yung WACC, sir.
Yan, yung sa WACC, no? Of course, guys. Of course. So, guided ang finance, guys, hindi siya something na mashi-mashi na feeling. As palagay ko maganda tong project na. Hindi. Hard data, guys. Although, syempre, yung iba dun kasi forecast lang, syempre may mga allowances yan. No? Pero you're talking of a science na hindi lang basta-basta, ay, feeling ko maganda tong project na to. Sige, bilhin natin yung company yan para may presence tayo doon. Teka muna. Ano ba yung cost of capital ng company? Tapos ano ba yung forecasted return ng project na yan? Kung mas mababa, guys, no-go yan. Kung mas mataas, okay. Proceed. No? So, yun ang investment principle, guys. No? Sabi natin, the hurdle rate should be higher for riskier projects and should reflect the financing mix. Ito yung sinasabi ko. Yung financing mix, guys, ito yung combination ng equity, yung contribution ng shareholders, at saka debt, yung hiniram nila. Ang tawag dyan, guys, yung combination ng equity at saka ng debt, that's what we call the financing mix. Okay? Imagine parang hinahalo mo yon, yung equity at saka debt, kasi ang mga investors natin are shareholders and also financing lending companies. And third, guys, ang tinitinan din natin yung cash flows. Okay, later on, guys, i-discuss natin na sa finance, cash flow is king. Ulitin ko, cash flow is king. In other words, if you assess a particular project, hindi natin titingnan yung net income. Hindi yun yung basis, guys. Ang tinitingnan yung cash. What we look into is cash. Okay, question. Bakit kaya cash? Bakit kaya cash is king? Although, andito yan, ano? Wait, let me just... andito siya. Yan, nasa slide 43. Cash is king. Okay, sige, i-discuss ko na rin ito habang dinidiscuss natin yan, no? Sabi natin, cash flow is what matters. Pag nagko-compute tayo, guys, sa finance, sa mga projects, ang tinitingnan is cash flow, not profit. Cash flow is what matters. Accounting profits are not the same. So profit is not the same as cash flow. Cash flow is the one that drives the value of a business. Okay? Clear yun, guys? Ang cash flow ang nagdadrive ng business, no? Hindi yung profit. Okay, pause muna ako. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Sige. Question, bakit? Bakit hindi profit? Bakit hindi bakit cash ang lengguwahe? Money, di ba? Sabi natin, the language money, no? Is the management of money or cash. Bakit hindi profit ang tinitingnan? Kunyari, magde-decide tayo kung tatanggapin ba itong project na to? Is this project greater than the hurdle rate or the WACC? Anong kino-compute? Anong basis? Is it profit or cash flow? The basis is cash flow. So pag nag-compute tayo, ang binibilang natin yung cash flow, guys, hindi yung profit, no? Okay, bakit, guys? For a practical reason, why? Anyone? Guess? Bakit kaya number one principle to cash is king?
Sir, because a business needs cash in order for it to live, sir.
Okay. Okay. Si Marco to, no?
Yes po.
Yeah. Thank you, Marco. Yeah, the business, pero para napahapyawalan natin yung answer natin, no? Pero ganito yung sagot niyan, guys, no? Bakit cash? Okay. Anong pinahiram ni lender, guys? What did the lender lend the company?
The money, sir.
Cash, di ba? Ay, hindi naman laway, guys, eh. Hindi naman papel, eh. Ang pinapahiram ng mga creditors is cash. Di ba? Ang company humihiram ng cash. Anong binigay ng mga shareholders? guys.
Pera rin.
Pero din, di ba? So, kung tutusin guys, parang parang as insensitive as this may sound, pera-pera lang yan guys. Creditors lend you the money, what do they expect in return? Profit? Hindi. Banks could not care less. Kunyari, sasabihin ni Globe, we had profit of 1 billion. Kunyari, humiram sila sa BDO. Sasabihin ni BDO, wow, excellent, that's good, let's celebrate. Hindi ganun. Ano sasabihin ng BDO? Give me the cash. Bayaran yung principal, bayaran yung interest. Diba? Right? Although profit might be a signal of good cash flow, but not always, no? So, ano lang talaga, cash yung pinag-uusapan dito. Nakakabayad ba si company ng interest when they fall due? That's very important for creditors. Hindi yung sasabihin ni company, tinan mo yung income statement namin, no? We had 33 billion net income after tax. Well, that's good. Give me the cash. Asan na yung interest payment nyo? Ba't ka nahuli? Diba? It doesn't make sense na profit ang tinitingnan eh. It's always cash, guys. And for the particular reason, simple reason, for the simple finance principle that cash is king. A company borrows money, okay, from its creditors. A company gets cash infusion from its shareholders. So ganun lang yun guys. Very, very simple. No? So going back here. Okay, so clear ba? Guys, clear ba? We'll look into this timing of these cash flows later on. No? Okay, so aside from investment, we have financing principle. Yung financing principle, guys, asks the question, ano ba yung magandang financing mix? Okay, sige, i-chat nyo guys ha, tatanungin ko kayo. Para sa inyo, if you were the CEO, ano kaya ang magandang financing mix? Pag sinabing financing mix, ilang percent utang, ilang percent equity? Sige, lagay nyo dito sa chat kung yung first number will be equity. The first number will be yung credit, yung utang. The second number will be equity. Kunyari, 50-50% means 50% yung sa credit, 50% yung sa equity. Sige nga guys, may I have your cooperation? Ano lang, personal ano yan? Personal, sabihin natin kayo yung CFO. What for you is a good financing mix? Kindly please sa chat. Hello. Ayan, 70. Thank you. Thank you, Han. 70-30-70 sa sa creditors. Thank you, Julius. 35-65. Thank you. Charles, thank you. 30 debt, 70% equity. The others, guys. Okay, thank you, Mary. 40-60. Carlos, thank you. 40-60 also. Karen, 30-70. Kristen, 60-40. Okay, so Rafi, 30-70. Okay, Caitlin, 40-60. Okay, wala bang 0-100 dyan or 100-0? Okay, mukhang safe yung yung answers nyo, no? So we have, yung iba sa inyo, mas malaki yung utang, no? Debt. Yung iba, mas malaki naman yung equity. May survey, no? And then they classify kung anong klaseng kung anong klaseng, let's say, investor, no? So yung iba, mas gusto nila mas mataas yung equity. Ito yung medyo mga conservative. Hindi sila makatulog ng may utang. May mga taong ganoon talaga. Nothing wrong with that, guys. May mga iba naman na medyo risk takers, sige, uutang tayong malaki, no? Bahala na kung makabayad o hindi, no? So these are the people who would say siguro 80-20, 90-10. Kung pwede nga 100-0, guys, pwede ba 'yon? Pwede bang debt 100% zero equity? What do you think, guys? Is that possible? Can that happen?
Pwede po, sir.
Pwede?
Pwede po.
Pwede? Okay. The answer, guys, is, well, pwede rin siguro kung hindi nag-iisip yung nagpapahiram, no? Pero hindi pa pwede kung tutuusin, kung mag-due diligence yung nagpapahiram. Kasi, masyadong risky na yung katayuan niya, no? Kung nagpahiram tong business na to, wala na mahahabol dun sa shareholders kasi 100% siya na yung siya na nagmako ng capital eh. So ang mga firms usually tinitingnan nila yung financing mix na yan, yung mga lending companies. No? Minsan may mga threshold sila. Kapag kunyari 70-30 na ups, tama na, hindi na kami magpapautang sa'yo. Okay? Ayusin nyo muna yung financing mix nyo. May mga ganun, yung iba naman 50-50. Okay? So but you will not find a company lending to a firm that has 100% debt and 0% equity. Kasi ano lang contribution ng mga owners? Ano kayo? Yung ayaw yung mag-assume ng risk? Okay? Ang bibigyan nyo lang risk sa sa mga creditors? No can do din yun, no? Okay? Yung iba naman guys, ang gusto, 0-100%. Maganda ba yun guys? 0-100%. Makakatulog ba kayo ng mahimbing nun guys?
Hindi po, sir.
Hindi ka, sino to? Sino nagsabi? Hindi ka makakatulog ng mahimbing kung 0-100? Bakit? Okay. Ano lang?
Malay mo, sir, wala ng pera. Malay mo, hindi na bumalik yung pera sa'yo, sir. Hindi ko rin
pwede rin. Masyadong risky din on the part of the shareholder din, ano? Okay. Pero may mga shareholders na gano'n. Ayaw talaga nila umutang. Kung kakayanin, pera lang nila. Pero may limitations yun. Tama yung sino nagsalita? Sino?
Sir, si Hans.
Hans. Thank you, Hans. Sabi ni Hans, hindi rin maganda yun kasi limited lang din naman yung pera ng business owner. Okay? Kung may mga projects na magaganda tapos wala na siyang pera, hindi pa rin siya uutang kung maganda yung project na yun, mukhang mali din naman yung decision na yun, no? Right? So mukhang yung extremes, yung 100, 0 to 100, mukhang hindi rin maganda yun. Kasi guys, may purpose ang debt, ha? Number one, yung reputation mo as a company. Kung nangungutang ka, tapos good payer ka, lumalaki yung chance mo later on to expand your business kasi you'll now be able to acquire more funding later on kasi meron kang credit history. Pag wala kang credit history, pangit yun. How can you now borrow now? Kunyari may magandang project tapos wala ka namang walang funds yung company. So in-let go na lang natin yun. Sabihin natin, ay sayang, ang ganda ng returns niya, no? Okay. Ang WACC natin is 10%. Pero yung returns na to, after we compute, 32%. So, ayaw natin umutang eh. Di ba? Mukhang mali naman yun, di ba? Kung pwedeng umutang guys, umutang. Kasi may purpose yung debt. Okay, later on, it actually, kaya nga ang tawag sa debt guys, it has a leverage effect. Explain natin to later on, no? In the course of this discussion, leverage. Ano ibig sabihin ng leverage effect? Guys, yung leverage effect actually pinapataas pa niya yung profit. Pwede ba yun? Kahit may utang? Ano ba generally guys magiging impact kapag may utang? Ano mangyayari sa bottom line? Answer guys? Tataas ba or bababa yung bottom line, yung net income? Kung may utang guys, tataas ba o bababa yung yung net income? Guess lang guys. Go up or go down?
Bababa po.
Bababa. Bakit bababa? Kasi
Kasi may utang ka, sir.
Yes.
So, kunwari, you earned a big amount of money, hindi mo pa nabawas doon yung kailangan mong bayaran sa utang.
in the form of what?
Po?
In the form of, anong tawag sa account na yun? Letter I.
Income?
Interest, no? Di ba? Kapag may utang, di ba, may interest expense yan. So, ibabawas yan, di ba? Tama, guys? Clear? May interest
Clear po.
expense. Pero guys, anong mangyayari? Anong mangyayari? Kung may interest expense, actually, anong nangyayari, guys? Okay? Bumababa yung NIBT. Are you familiar with NIBT?
No po, sir.
That's net income before tax. Okay? Bababa yung NIBT. Anong mangyayari? Kung bababa yung taxable base natin, net income before tax, bababa yung tax natin. Okay, so may purpose yung interest, hindi lang basta-basta. Aside from the fact that it can afford the company funds for projects, may ano din yan sa finance later on, pag tingnan natin financing mix, may leverage effect ang interest. So mas maganda guys, ang business na may utang. Yeah, it sounds to seem to be counterintuitive, especially for people who are risk averse, no? Yung hindi na makatulog na may utang. Pero guys, pag magninegosyo ka, talagang kailangan mo yung utang, no? Ang tanong diyan guys, ano yung optimal na financing mix? So madami kayong answer na binigay, no? Is it 100-0? Is it 70-30? Is it 50-50? So ano guys yung optimal, yung pinaka-best na financing mix? Ang answer niyan guys is the financing mix that most optimizes shareholder value is the best financing mix. Oh, so hindi lang basta-basta, hindi pa pwedeng 50-50. Hindi pwedeng 70-30, hindi pwedeng 30-70. That's not the way to answer that. The best financing mix is the mix that maximizes shareholder value. Kasi mako-compute yan guys. Kunyari 70-30 versus 40-60, sino mas maganda doon? Iko-compute natin yung shareholder value kung magsa 70-30 tayo o 40-60. Interesting guys, no? So si financing principle, ang ina-address nito, anong financing mix ang gagamitin? Okay? Hindi pare-pareho yan sa mga organizations. Iba-iba. Kasi iba-iba yung financial structure nila. Iba yung debt at saka equity nila. So, there's no one answer to that. Ang pinaka-answer dyan, the financing mix that optimizes shareholder value is the best financing mix. Okay? Clear guys? Clear? Paki-yes nga kung klaro so far.
Yes,
Clear
sir.
po, sir.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, thank you. Okay, salamat, no? Okay. So, kanina tinignan natin yung investment principle. Okay? Ano yung investment principle, guys? Saan natin ilalagak? Saan natin ilalagay yung mga resources? Sa anong project? Anong principle natin dyan? Any project whose return is greater than the WACC. Why? Because kung ang project na yan, may return siya na greater than the WACC, then it maximizes shareholder value. Pag mas mababa, it destroys shareholder value. Maximizes or destroys. Yun ang option dyan, no? Financing, anong financing mix ang kailangan? Yung mix na nagtataas ng shareholder value. Nagmamaximize ng shareholder value. And last guys, yung dividends. Yung dividends, i-return na ba natin yung cash or even stock, no? Kasi may stock dividends, tsaka may cash dividends. Do we return it now to the shareholders? Again, saan naka-base yan? Yung decision yan guys, naka-base din yan sa mamamaximize ba yung shareholder value ng company pag magbigay tayo ng dividends ngayon. Okay, so I hope I'm not sounding like a broken record. However, it's very apparent guys that lahat ng financing activities na to, investing, financing, distribution of dividends, lahat to naka-anchor dun sa objective ng organization, which is to optimize or maximize shareholder value. Okay? So in a nutshell, sabi natin, finance at its core is managing the employment, how to use these funds within the organization, including the decision to reinvest or distribute any subsequent profits generated. So parang in capsule to yung definition na to. Okay. So in the bigger picture, guys, okay, ito, investing decision, financing decision, at saka dividend decision. I hope guys maintindihan natin tong diagram na to. Definitely guys, tatanungin ko to sa exam natin, no? Investment, sabi dito, dapat anong hurdle rate natin? What's the hurdle rate, guys? Ito yung return ng The hurdle rate should reflect the riskiness of the investment and the mix of equity. Tapos the return should reflect the magnitude and timing of the cash flows. Any investment, guys, dapat i-consider natin yung cash flow, okay, at saka yung timing niya, and dapat yung return niyan should exceed the weighted average cost of capital. And remember, the weighted average cost of capital is based on the financing mix. Kasi di ba, kukompute natin yung WACC, yung hurdle rate. And kailangan natin, dapat natin yung market value ng debt at saka market value ng shareholder value para makompute natin yung WACC. Later on, guys, pag pumunta na tayo sa capital structure, we will learn how to compute yung financing mix. Kahit simple examples lang. Okay? Financing decision. Okay? Anong kind of debt and equity, anong mix nila ang maganda para sa organization? Kailangan mamamaximize yung firm value, and ito pa, no? Kailangan may matching yung asset. Ito hindi ko nabanggit kanina. Kailangan may matching yung asset at saka yung funding. Example, you do not finance long-term projects with short-term financing. Kuha nyo? Kunyari, guys, bibili tayo ng malaking building o malaking lote, property, plant, and equipment, worth 50, 100 o 200 million. Ganun kalaki. Paano mo ipa-finance yun? Gamitin natin si credit card. Di ba stupid? Di ba? Why? Kasi yung project nyo, long-term yan eh. It will benefit long-term for a number of years, no? Tapos ifa-finance mo siya ng short-term credit kasi kahit nasabihin natin 0% in 1 year, short-term 'yon, no? Bakit mo ifa-finance yung isang long-term project ng isang short-term financing? May mismatch, yun ang sinasabi natin. Usually ang principle, short-term projects or short-term investments, dapat short-term din yung financing yan. Long-term projects, long-term yung financing. So that's very important as far as financing decision is concerned. No? Dapat may matching ng kind of debt or kind of financing at saka yung kind of asset. And lastly, guys, yung dividend decision, sabi natin, kung hindi na natin magagamit yung cash sa worthy projects, it's better to return it to shareholders in the form of dividends. Now, we're going to discuss this in greater detail kasi this is a very important proposition, yung dividend decision making. So may excess cash yung company, ano gagawin natin dito? Hang on to it? Wala naman tayong investment opportunity. Or should we return it back to our shareholders? Kasi guys, nagsisignal din ng maganda yung isang company na regularly nagbibigay ng dividends. A company like, kunyari may mga blue chip companies, guys. Pag sinabing blue chip companies, well-established companies to. Kunyari, si San Miguel, si Jollibee, yung ibang mga banks, guys. Regularly sila nagbibigay ng dividends. Ano ibig sabihin nito? These companies are able to generate cash flows. Okay? Sabi natin, di ba? Principle number 1, cash flow is king. So kung nakakapagbigay sila ng dividends, ibig sabihin, they're good with cash flow management, then that would attract more investors to the company, either in the form of new shareholders or in the form of creditors. Kasi kunyari, yung mga bangko magpapahiram kay Jollibee o kay San Miguel, madali sa kanila kasi alam nila na these companies can generate cash, no? Nagbibigay nga ng dividend sa mga shareholders. No? Okay? Clear so far, guys?
Yes po.
Alright. Sige, thank you. No? So again, guys, whether it's investment decision, financing decision, dividend decision, the finance functions, the basic finance functions, it's always under the fact that it should maximize shareholder value. Okay? So may isang question ako. We still have time for this. Could you open the canvas? may linagay akong ano doon, may linagay akong I placed an Excel file there. Nasa modules. Ito guys. Okay. So kindly open that and then I'll give you 3 minutes. Tapos I want you to answer the question. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yung nasa screen natin, andito yung year, no? Year 0, guys, ibig sabihin ngayon. Then you see cash flow. Notice, guys, hindi natin minimeasure si profit, ano? Si cash flow ang tinitingnan natin. Okay? And then, cash flow at year 0, ibig sabihin, maglalabas tayo ng pera. Negative yan, no? Negative 2,000. Binabaan ko lang yung cash. And then, after 1 year, we get inflow to 1,000. After the second year, 450. Third year, 400. Fourth year, 300. Fifth year, 300. Okay, question. If you're the CFO, should you invest in this one? Okay, ang hurdle rate ng company nga pala 10% kung may gamit man yan, no? Should you invest in this one? Okay, so sige lang, try nyo guys. Just try to compute kung ano yung ano, and then after 2 minutes, I'll ask you to just to share your answer sa chat na lang. I hope everybody contributes. We just want to see how you're going to analyze this. Okay, sige. 2 minutes, start now guys. Okay, guys, are you done? Any volunteer, guys? Chat or anyone who would like to share his answer? Mag-i-invest ba o hindi?
Sir, can I try po?
Yeah, sure. Identify yourself, please.
Sir, I'm Marco, sir.
Marco. Marco, sige. Marco, thank you.
I think he should not invest po. Kasi,
Not
sir,
invest. Sige, bakit? Anong reason mo?
because the cost is the money that you put up was 2,000 and then po yung nakuha lang po is 450 po. So it doesn't like
450. Okay. So you're telling me that if we add this, if we add this, 450. Okay. Thank you, Marco. Thank you for that answer. No? Okay. So sabi ni Marco, anong sabi mo? Not invest? Do not invest?
Yes po, because you put up 2,000 and
Okay.
yung balik lang po sa'yo is 450.
Yeah, okay. Sabi ni Marco, not to invest kasi nag-invest tayo ng 2,000, ang bumalik lang 450. No? Okay, thank you Marco for that answer. Any other answer, guys? Any volunteer? Kahit chat nyo, guys. Paki-chat kung ano ano yung decision nyo. CFO kayo, ha? So the president is banking on you to make a decision. Yes,
Not invest, sir.
Sino to?
Montero.
Nickname, please.
Henry Montero.
Henry.
Yeah.
Okay, Henry, sige. Why? Si Henry not invest.
Not invest because cash flow performance like through the years have gone down. So
Okay.
I wouldn't invest.
Okay, pareho kay Marco, no? Si Marco, ang reason naman niya, maliit lang yung net, no?
But it's like consistently going down.
Yeah, si Henry naman, sinasabi niya, it's consistently going down. Okay, thank you for your inputs, guys. Marco, Henry, thank you so much. You'll get +3 points for the first quiz, no? For
Sir.
participating. So, yes.
Sir, can
Sino?
I try?
Yeah, sure. Sino to?
Julius po.
Julius, sige, Julius.
Siguro, sir, I'll invest
You'll invest.
for
Bakit?
my opinion. Yung 450, mataas na for a return yun since
Okay.
2,000 lang naman yung linagay mong capital.
Alright. Okay,
Like, sir, yung investment percentage mataas.
Okay. Kay Julius naman, magi-invest. So you see two different perspectives, no? Kay Marco at saka kay Henry, sabi nila, hindi sila magi-invest kasi yung 450 medyo mababa relative to the investment. Tapos also sabi ni Henry, bumababa yung cash flow. Kay Julius naman sabi, relatively mataas yung 450, no? Okay, over the investment of 2,000. Okay, now, you see the predicament we have here? Paano natin sasagutin to? Kasi, it's now a matter of perception. Kasi both of them are right. In their own perspective, Marco is saying that's low. Julius is also saying that's high. Okay, so paano ngayon? Paano na yung finance? So this becomes subjective. Okay? So hold on guys, hold on kasi it's already time. I will need some 5 minutes or 10 minutes to explain, no? What should be our decision. But there is an answer to this. No? So next meeting guys, pag sa simula natin, ito yung sasagutin natin ha. And we're going to continue our discussion. Natapos na tayo dito sa sa konti na lang tayo, konti ng slides na lang. Kasi 60 lang naman to, 60 plus. So nasa 43 na tayo. Okay, and in fact, nakuha natin principle number 1. Tapos yung principle number 2, before we end guys, gusto ko lang sabihin na aside from principle number 1, which is cash is king, there's also this principle about the time value of money. That 1 peso today, what would you rather have, by the way? Very quick lang guys, very quick question. Would you rather have 1 million today or 1 million after 1 year?
1
Sige nga,
million
guys.
today, sir.
1 million today. Are you in agreement guys? Mas gusto nyo magkaroon ng 1 million ngayon kaysa 1 million after 1 year?
Yes.
Yes.
Mukhang mukhang consistent tayong lahat today, di ba? It's not because mukhang pera tayo, di ba? Ako rin. Gusto ko yung 1 million today. Bakit? For the simple reason that I can invest this and after 1 year, I could have more than 1 million. Di ba? Correct. Thank you, Rafi. There's such a thing as opportunity cost, or we call it cost of money. May cost of money. Hindi libre ang pera, guys. So since money has cost, yung 1 million yan, after 1 year, it most probably will no longer be 1 million. So you're correct, guys. We're in agreement with that. So principle number 1, cash is king. Principle number 2, the time value of money or money has cost. Okay, in next meeting, guys, we're going to continue from this. Tatapusin na natin tong slides na to, lahat, para next meeting, next week, simula na tayo ng analysis of financial statements. And you'll be needing, guys, Excel kasi gagamitin natin yung Excel sa discussion natin. So may mga computations tayo. Okay? So are there any questions, guys?
No po.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. Keep safe, guys. And thank you so much for participating. I enjoy your class. No?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Salamat.
Sir, attendance.
Coach.
Attendance ha, sandali. I-stop recording ko lang ha.